Here's a question worth asking plainly. Is the Philippines' alliance with the United States a shield or a target painted on its back? Let's cut through the noise. The Mutual Defense Treaty between Manila and Washington has existed since 1951. For decades, it was treated as a diplomatic formality, rarely tested, rarely discussed. Then China started building artificial islands in the South China Sea, harassing Filipino fishermen at Scarborough Shoal, and ramming Philippine Coast Guard vessels near the Spratly Islands. Suddenly, that old treaty started looking less like a relic and more like a lifeline. Beijing's preferred narrative, and you'll hear this repeated across Chinese state media and in sympathetic commentary online, is that the Philippines is being dragged into American imperial competition, that Manila is sacrificing its sovereignty to serve Washington's strategic interests, that the alliance is the problem, not the aggression that made it necessary. This is a deliberate inversion of reality. The Philippines did not deploy the alliance against China. China provoked the alliance back into relevance. When Chinese Coast Guard vessels used water cannons on Filipino resupply missions to troops stationed at the BRP Sierra Madre, a rusting ship legally grounded at Second Thomas Shoal, well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, that wasn't great power rivalry. That was coercion against a small state exercising its legal rights. Rights confirmed by the 2016 arbitral tribunal ruling under UNCLS that China simply refused to accept. Now, Manila has expanded its access agreements with the U.S., granted American forces access to additional bases, and deepened military cooperation. Critics argue this provokes Beijing and reduces Manila's diplomatic flexibility. That's a legitimate concern, and Filipino policymakers should hold Washington to account, not grant unconditional access. But here's the asymmetry that matters. Without a credible deterrent, the Philippines faces Chinese pressure alone. With the alliance, it has leverage. In diplomacy, in international forums, and on the water. The 2023 and 2024 confrontations at Second Thomas Shoal drew global attention precisely because Manila refused to be invisible about what was happening to it. The real threat to Philippine sovereignty isn't the alliance. It's the alternative. Unilateral exposure to a neighbor that has already shown it will ignore international law, intimidate civilian vessels, and advance territorial claims through force and fait accompli. The Philippines has every right to determine its own security posture. But let's be honest about who's actually threatening that sovereignty, and who's trying to tell Manila it has no right to defend itself.